Hello and welcome to Fun and Games, where the weekly gaming news is all play. Last week I wasn't feeling well and I couldn't get out of bed, but by the time Blizzcon was over, I didn't want to.
We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC.
That is Blizzard getting booed at their own event for Diablo Immortal being mobile only. It was outsourced by a Chinese company called NetEase that even Chinese players refer to as a pig farm for the way that they treat their customers. I'm going to assume less babe and more Spirited Away. Like a time traveler from the doomed future, another Chinese player came to Reddit to warn us that, quote, even if the new game is on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, it will be a piece of shit if it's from NetEase. Actually, in China, we don't really care if it's on PC or mobile. Most of us think that a mobile Diablo is acceptable, but we still assume this Immortal sucks because it's developed by NetEase. So we have smelt the traditional stinky of NetEase, which that sounds like the recipe for a secret family fart. And we do not want to see a piece of shit has a name called Diablo. I think we can all agree on that, but I think the pigs have left the barn on that one. Now it's our turn. For Blizzard to announce this game to an audience of hardcore PC gamers shows a pretty astounding lack of self-awareness. That's like going to TrekCon to announce the new Jar Jar Binks spinoff. Like, no one asked for that, and even if they did, they're not here. It was a real punch in the nuts for people in the audience, but some fans were nuts enough to punch back.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Sadly, this was an April Fool's joke back in 2014 when they announced Happy Reaper, the definitive Diablo experience coming soon to web and mobile. Who knew that that joke games comment section would become the beta forum for Immortal? Because one player complained that he threw money at his device and nothing happened. Well, they made sure to fix that. Bizarrely, in the past week, Blizzard has doubled down, saying things like, "This was a very good choice. Our best devs are on mobile games now," and fans' reactions at BlizzCon confirmed Diablo Immortal will be well received. So the boos were good, I guess. I'm going to need some boos here in a minute. On top of all that going on, a lot of games journalists have attacked their own audience with name calling and bullshit like people that bash on mobile gaming are an offshoot of toxic masculinity. Like, I didn't know that I could get toxic masculinity as a woman, but apparently it's like an STD. It's just transmitted through salt. Before I finish this segment, I want to nominate this Nerfwire writer for a Pulitzer Prize for his article, Misty-Eyed EA Passes Torch to Blizzard. I will link it below so you can read it, and you should. But it's about the passing of the fuck our customers torch. It says, "Make as much money as you can. It is never enough. Drown the world in blood. EA Sports." The crowd boos and then pays to continue watching. Red Dead Redemption 2 has a huge bug that can cause major characters to leave your camp until Chapter 4, leaving you feeling as lonely as the last pee at pee time. That doesn't mean what you think it means. Rockstar says that, quote, if you completed the mission Polite Society Valentine style at the start of Chapter 2, but needed to use the retry checkpoint feature, your game is borked, and Sadie, John, Jack, and Abigail are not going to show up until Chapter 4. So you're going to miss out on some stories, some conversations, and stuff. You can avoid this bug if you do not retry checkpoint during this quest, Polite Society Valentine style.
Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to kill this motherfucker right now. Oh, I don't think so. Diffuse the argument? I don't even think twice, man. What?
He did deserve it, but now my game is broke, and I have no other saves to return to. That's okay, though, because I've got other things to do while I wait for the next title update, like not feeding suffragists to alligators.
Let me vote! Let me vote! Let me vote! I can say this all day. Let me vote! Let me vote! Let me vote!
Well, on second thought, the guy who posted the videos of like beating her up and feeding her to pigs and alligators and everything, he got his channel shut down by YouTube temporarily, and The Guardian called this, quote, the toxic misogyny of gamer subcultures dominated by male, white-centric shitheads. There's also a bunch of hate speech in the comments from, honestly, people who are just as thick. People who don't understand the difference between the games and real life. they're not the same. Like, especially in a Rockstar game. Because my dad played GTA, and I watched him beat up cops, and he is a cop, but he still has his job. Incredibly. Like, I've stolen money and taken drugs, but my character's as broke as ever. You know, it's not just Blizzard fans who felt a punch in the Kupo nuts this week. Square Enix chose to celebrate Final Fantasy XV's 2-year anniversary with a funeral for the game. Fans the world over joined this special livestream event to discover that all DLCs have been canceled but one, and the 15 journey will, quote, conclude next year with a release of episode Arden. Because releasing all the DLCs they promised would be Arden, they don't want to do it. 15's director, Hajime Tabata, who was beloved for his unique ability to give a shit, quit Square Enix so he could sleep, I assume. In the past, he said, quote, I wouldn't recommend developing at Square Enix. We don't sleep. And also, quote, it's really not a big deal if I'm shortening my lifespan to bring enjoyment to others. Yeah, it is, Tabata. Like, that's the Johnny Knoxville argument. He wanted to bring enjoyment to others by doing a flip on a motorcycle that he never trained for, and you know what happened? His dick broke off. I mean, not all the way, but there was a lot of blood coming out of it, and he said it looked like a chewed up dog toy. So we gotta stop acting like this shit is okay. Like this is just the work culture, because we've seen it recently at Rockstar too. It's game dev. And I think it's probably even broader than game dev. Polygon says he's, quote, overworked but happy. He's killing himself, but it's fine. This was from before he quit. He said, I sleep maybe 3 hours each day. It's difficult every day. But don't worry about him. He's a walking husk of a man, driven only by a selfless love, which we will ruthlessly monetize, but he's happy. Anyways, there's a Final Fantasy XIV crossover event for Final Fantasy XV happening on December 12th, where we will meet Fat Garuda, and Ignis learns a recipe for chicken nuggets, but can we just talk about this, Mikote?
They're going to summon a god!
A god!
Speaking of broken dicks, your penis will no longer get bigger every time you log into Scum. That's too bad, because it seems like a feature that would keep some players coming to the game. Now they may feel like they've come up short, but they can always check out the package on the site, which can offer an extra 2 inches. Scum is an open-world multiplayer game taking place on a prisoner's island, making it a hardcore penal survival game. If that arouses your interest, don't hesitate to plunge right in. But remember that character growth comes at the cost of skill points. So if you don't insert your attributes carefully, you may have trouble measuring up. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Fun in Games News. If you did, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch, or for free just by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your friends. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!